Hello and welcome back to SF Giants Recap. And in today's video and live stream, we're going to be going over some of what has happened during this off season right now. And so make sure to subscribe and like if you do end up enjoying this live stream or video, depending on when you're watching. And so right here, Cubs signed Marcus Stroman, which I was kind of expecting the Giants to make a push for him, but they did not. The Giants have signed Alex Cobb. We'll go over that in a minute when more people start joining. But the Cubs have signed Marcus Stroman for a 3-year, $71 million contract. And the thing with this contract right here is that it is pretty pricey. $71 million for 3 years. Marcus Stroman's good, but is he really that good? I don't know. Comment down below what you think, but in my opinion, I'm kind of glad the Giants didn't spend that type of money on him. But he'll be making like $25 million a year, which is way too much in my opinion for Marcus Stroman. But that is just what I think. We'll see what happens with Marcus Stroman. Max Scherzer and Kevin Gausman, as we already have gone over, and Robbie Ray are all gone off the market. Max Scherzer to the Mets, Kevin Gausman to the Blue Jays, and Robbie Ray to the Mariners. So that is what has happened right there. And so let's go over some of these things that have been happening. And so just a second right here. Okay, and so Marcus Stroman, he signed there as we already went over. Max Scherzer is gone, so he's not in the NL West, so that's good news. We don't have to face Max Scherzer. And then Kevin Gausman is gone. But comment down below who you think the Giants are going to go after for the second starter, because they really haven't been in like serious talks with anyone. We got Alex Cobb, which I made a video yesterday. If you haven't seen it, go check it out. But Alex Cobb is a very good number 5 starter, but we need a number 2 starter. We have Logan Webb, a blank spot right there, and then Wood, DeSclafani, and Alex Cobb. And so that is what my question is. Are the Giants going to go after someone tonight? Because then will be lockouts probably going to happen to where teams can't make talks, can't talk to players for deals and all that. And so it'll be interesting to see what happens with the MLB lockout and if any big names go about soon. And so we'll go over what is happening there. And so the Angels signed Raciel Iglesias right here. And the other big thing is Chris Taylor staying with the Dodgers. I was thinking like the Giants would maybe go after him, but I didn't really think that was going to happen. And Chris Bryant's still out there, so the Giants could re-sign Chris Bryant. I really doubt that was going to happen, but it's kind of seemed more likely and likely as time goes on. And so we'll see what happens with that. The Red Sox are probably going to sign Rich Hill, which would make sense. I feel like he fits the Red Sox right there. The Marlins have signed Avisail Garcia. That was a while ago. The Diamondbacks signed Mark Melancon, so that's big news right there because Mark Melancon is with the Padres. Always a pain. You can never get much runs off him in the 9th inning, but that is what happened with Mark Melancon. Is he is now up Diamondback, and so I feel like that's better than like me on the Padres, because the Padres were always a pain. And so the Phillies signed Corey Knebel, so that's good that he's out of the NLS as well. But the Dodgers have been pretty quiet this offseason. All they've done is re-sign Chris Taylor, and they'll probably get Kershaw back. That's my guess. And so we'll see what happens with the Dodgers and their free agency talk right now. But what else? The thing that we're going to go over too is the Twins signed Dillon Bundy. And so Dillon Bundy is out of the AL West and now a Twin. And so this could add some depth to the Twins roster. They're having struggles with their the 2021 season was pretty rough for them. But they could bounce back within a year or two. And they signed him for a 1 year with the club option for 2023, as it says right here. And so that's a thing to look at and to know that the Twins aren't done. And they went and got Brian, re-signed Buxton to a longer deal. And so it'll be interesting to see if the Twins can bounce back after a rough season. But let's go over the Giants. The Giants signed Alex Cobb. So let's go right here. The Alex Cobb contract. It is a 2-year, $20 million contract with the club option right here. And so I think this is really smart signing for the Giants. Tell me your thoughts in the live chat and we'll go over them. But I think this is pretty smart because a $20 million deal with Cobb, that's not too much money. He has a club option for 2024. And so we have a set 4-man rotation right now, but we need a number 2 starter. And so, who are we going to go after for that number 2? Pretty interesting. I still don't know who the Giants are going to go after for the number 2 starter because we have Logan Webb and then a blank spot right there. So that'll be the main question, is if they're going to sign anyone before the lockout tomorrow, if it does happen, which it probably will, or if they're going to wait till after and then get in chats with some ball clubs and teams of what they're going to do. And so that'll be all of the news right there for the Giants. They haven't been really busy this offseason. Like last offseason, they signed a decent amount of pitchers and stuff, but they haven't really been really busy. And so let's go over the arbitration that happened yesterday because we brought back some decent names, like one of them being Austin Slater right here. And so we brought back Austin Slater, Harlan Garcia, and John Brebbia. And so that is a pretty good move, in my opinion, to keep those 3. John Brebbia, I was never really impressed this year, but it is really cheap, $837,000. So that's not too much money. With Slater receiving $1.85 million, that's not a ton of money. In Garcia, so none of these are a huge amount of money. And Harlan Garcia, I really like though, because he was really dominant left-handed, and so Giants owner are stupid. Yeah, the Giants have been very quiet. I don't know if it'll be a smart move. We'll see what happens, or if it's gonna be pretty dumb. But we'll see what happens if the Giants go after anyone. The Giants owner needs to go.
You mentioned
Farhan Zaidi
that
put
he's going to be
together
more
a
of a comfortable
107
pitcher,
win
and obviously
season.
this
So
deal
I don't know if he
does
needs
that
to
for
go,
him.
but
So what
we'll
do you
see
like
what
about his
he
mentality,
does
and have you
during
talked to
this
Gabe, and what
offseason
is,
because
if Gabe
he
were to
could
be
be
here, what was that
plotting a really
conversation
good
like with him
deal
as you guys
and
finish this
just
thing
getting
up?
these guys, but waiting until
Yeah,
after
I
the
think it was
lockout.
just
So we'll
big
have
for
to see what
Anthony to
happens. But
get off
Farhan
to such a
Zaidi
great
did put
start this
together a really
year.
good
Really had
2021
a
season.
case to
So
make
I
the
wouldn't say
All-Star
he
game
needs to
based on
go,
his first
but
half
he has
numbers
been pretty quiet.
after
And so I
having
think they need to spend more
a little
money,
bit
in
of an
my opinion.
inconsistent season
Like
in
not too
2020.
much
But
more,
when you line
not
up
a
his
ton of money,
2021 season
but
to his
enough
2019
to start getting
season,
that number 2
there's a
starter
lot of
because we have the
similarities
money.
there.
He
Fewer
said they're
homers,
going to
kept the
spend
ball in the
around
ballpark more, a
90
little bit to
million, and we
Carey's
still
point.
have
But
money to go around to
we
get more people
definitely
for the 90 million.
saw
And so
some history and track
the
record
plans,
beyond some
let's
improvements that
go
we thought
right here
he could
for
make, which
Zaidi. This
attracted
what
us
this
to
is
him in the
said.
first
What
place.
this is saying
And at the end of
for
the day, if we get
NBC Bay
3
Area right
seasons
here.
from Anthony like his
But
2021 season, we'll be
what
pretty
is it
happy
saying?
with that because he had a really strong year.
But we brought right here. It's loading. The Giants are trying to fill their rotation with Alex Wood, Alex Cobb, Anthony Scafani, with Logan Webb, and their approach to taking on starting pitching. We need to sign starting pitching, as it says right here. The Giants owner needs to go because they did not sign any star Giants pitcher and
More
Chris
directly,
Taylor.
I mean, you guys
Yeah,
won
they
the
probably should have
postseason
signed
with
Kevin Gosman,
Logan and
but the Blue
Kevin.
Jays
It's a
offered
pretty
him a
clear
lot of money for 5
1-2,
years,
and two guys
and
who
for
could
that
pretty
much money,
clearly
that's
start
not
a game one of a
that's a lot of
postseason
money,
series for you.
and he
Do you
might not
feel the
have that
need
much
to
for
get
5
somebody
years, not
who's
be as good
a
as
1A
that's what I
or
mean.
number 2
But that's the
there with
thing. I
Logan,
think
or
we
do you
didn't
think
sign him
that
because they had a ton of
a
money.
better way to go?
The Blue Jays were offering him, and the
I mean, it's a
Giants
fair
didn't really want to
question,
compete with that.
and I mean,
But yeah, the Giants do need to be more
everybody could
aggressive.
use
We could go
more
after Nicholas
top of the rotation
Castellanos. He's still
options.
out there.
I mean, I
Trevor Story's
completely
still out there,
understand your
but I doubt
question
we'll go after
because
him
we had those
because we
two
have
guys
Brandon
starting games
Crawford.
1 and 2 for us
And so we'll
last
see what
year. But
happens if they do go after
I think
anyone of
we
that
feel
sort.
like those,
And so
some
the
of the other
Giants
options we have could
are
emerge
going
and
to
be
try
part
to
of
fill
that
out this
scenario.
rotation.
Some of
They have
the
4 of the 5 And as you can see, of like Alex Cobb pitching right here, he has pretty nasty stuff, a pretty good two-seamer, a good changeup that does play out pretty well. And so that is the good news. And we got Alex Wood back, who is pitching better than ever, and Anthony DeSclafani, who is pretty dominant except against the Dodgers. But we'll see if he can fix that. But yeah, I think this is pretty smart to just go after those three, and then we still have Logan Webb, of course, and we can bring up Sean Jelly and Sammy Long to play, and then playing those minor league platoon guys, bring up and bring down, and we can switch them around to wherever we want them. I think this is what Farhan said. I think we were more looking for as many starting pitchers as possible that give our team a chance to win on any given day. So I don't think he's looking for a huge name. I think he's just looking for somebody who can pitch and who will just give them the best chance. Because in my opinion, if someone can pitch a lot of innings and they can limit the amount of runs, I don't care how many hits they give up or how many walks, but limit the amount of runs and the amount of innings they pitch, then that gives us the best chance to win, because then we don't have to wear and tear on our bullpen and like wear it down and stuff. And so that is why I think he's kind of waiting to see what will happen. And so we'll see what happens with the Giants right there. But let's go over some other news. Javier Baez is going to Detroit, which I was kind of surprised about when I saw that. Do you think Clayton Kershaw going to be a Giant? If Buster was still there, I could see him going to the Giants. But since Buster's gone, I have a hard time for him going to the Giants. It could happen, but I feel like if you're a Dodger and you go to the Giants, it's kind of weird. I mean, Alex Wood's an exception, but I feel like Kershaw's going to stick to the Dodgers, but not go to the Giants. But we'll see what happens. I just don't see the Giants going after a guy like Clayton Kershaw after he's had the record of the amount of injuries he had. And so that's just my opinion. It could happen. I'm not saying it's out the window, but I think that's very unlikely that we do go after Clayton Kershaw. And so the catchers are still free agents. Yan Gomes signed with the Cubs, but there are a lot of others that are still out there. Brandon Belt is back with us. That was a while ago with the qualifying offer, accepting that. But my question is, where's Kyle Schwarber, Anthony Rizzo going to go? There's still a lot with Mitch Moreland. Freddie Freeman is probably going to go back to the Braves. I don't know why the Braves haven't been going after him, but that's just my thing. I was like, why haven't the Braves been really aggressive with that? Second baseman, Hanser Alberto, is going to cost a little bit more. I think the Giants could go after him, but we do have Tommy La Stella still. So that is the only reason I think that we won't be going after a guy like Hanser Alberto. If you don't know who that is, he is a second baseman for the Orioles. And so that's the only reason I don't see him coming to the Giants, is because they have Tommy La Stella. And then there's a lot of other. Joe Panic's a free agent, but I don't see us signing him back. Donovan Solano's a free agent. I don't think we're going to be going after Donovan Barrows anymore, just because he didn't do amazing last year. Shortstops, we already got Brandon Crawford. Third baseman, Chris Bryant's still out for grabs. There's a lot of other guys, and I think we may need a third baseman because Evan Longoria is injury prone. But I don't know what will happen there. Corner outfielders, Chris Bryant again, right there. Mark Canha got signed, which I thought we were going to go after. Nicholas Castellanos and Michael Conforto. I could see us signing those two. And so those are the two where I could see right here us going after them as a sneaky little pickup. Oh, Nicholas Castellanos wouldn't be a sneaky pickup, but like Conforto would, Charlie Klugerson would be a decent pickup. Those two right there after losing Alex Dickerson. And so those are just my ideas with that. Let's go to pitching. So we're going to scroll down to pitching. Right-handed starters, okay? So for right-handed starters, we have Chase Anderson, Chris Archer, I doubt we'll go after. Trevor Cahill, nope. Johnny Cueto, Zach Davies, no. Anthony DeSclafani, we already got back.
23 of my 34 starts. And
No.
that's a decision that he has to
Some of
make.
these guys I have a hard time
And
seeing
then
us going after.
Gossman's going to have to find out from
Carlos
Farhan
Martinez
and
we
Scott
could go
Harris
after
and from
as
Gabe
as
to what
a
their thoughts are as who's going to be their
number
next catcher.
2 starter. But
Their
what
offense
players
is
do you
good
think the
enough
Giants are going to go
that they can
after
win a lot of games
the trade
with Kurt
deadline?
Casale
For like
hitting
the
eighth.
trade deadline in
But I
2022,
think at some
if
point
that's what
you
you're
have to make
asking,
a strong
it depends
consideration
on where we're
as to
at.
who
If
your
we're,
next catcher is
let's
going
say
to
in
be for the
July,
next
we're in
7
like
to 10 years.
third,
And that
like
obviously
fourth
is going to be
last
Joey Bart.
place, one of those
Yeah,
three,
I think
we're
you picked the
selling a
perfect guy,
ton,
too, 'cause Gossman
or
actually
not a
said
ton, but like we're
when
going to be
he
selling
came
some
back,
guys.
he was
We're
really
not going to
excited
be
Yeah.
keeping the
for
full
this.
contract.
So,
We're just
Yeah,
going to
and
hope
I
for
mean,
the
he's a very
best
good point.
with our minor
And
league
I mean, it's
system.
something that the
But
Giants
if we're in
club,
the
the
above 2,
organization,
I'd say
is
we'd
going
be
to have to
selling
deal with
a lot of our
as far as not
good
just signing those
prospects to
guys,
try to make
but
a
any
push
free
again,
agents that
more,
possibly
like a better
want to
than
come here.
Chris Bryant trade.
I mean,
But if you're going to say trade
I'm looking
deadline for the
forward to seeing
offseason,
how much more
it's
improved
pretty
Joey Bart
interesting.
is
I don't know who's on
from
the
what we
trade
saw in
market or
2020.
not, but I think the Giants could make a trade and will make a trade for like a reliever or a decent outfielder or something like that. But I don't know who's on
More
the
directly,
trade
I mean,
market
you guys
yet.
went to the postseason with Logan and
Back to
Kevin. It's a pretty clear
the
1-2 and 2
free
guys who
agents right
could pretty
here.
clearly start a game
We
1 of
have
a postseason
Michael
series for you.
Wacha,
Do
who
you
already
feel
signed with
the
the Red
need to get
Sox.
somebody
We should have
who's
probably gone with
the
after
1A
Luis
or number 2
Garcia, the
there
one
with
that just
Logan,
barely
or do you
signed
think that depth
with
is
the
better way to
Padres today. And that's the
Yeah,
other
I mean,
thing to
it's a
go
fair
over is Luis
question,
Garcia,
and
the
I mean,
rookie pitcher for the Astros, who
everybody
was
could
really good.
use more
He went to the
top of the
Padres, which
rotation
is bad news
options.
for
You
us,
know, I mean,
but also
I completely
he had
understand
his
your
struggles,
question
so we'll see
because
what happens
we
there.
had those two
But I
guys
feel like
starting
the
games
Giants
1
could have
and 2
gone
for
after
us last
him
year. But
as a number 2
you know,
starter.
I think we
But
feel like those,
left-handed starters, Tyler
some of the
Anderson, we
other
could go
options we
back and
have
try to
could
get
emerge and be part of
because
that
he's pretty
scenario.
decent.
Some of
Danny
the
Duffy is still
starting
up
pitchers
for
that are
grabs.
still available in free agency and
Rich
trade
Hill's
could
probably
be
not
part
going
of
to sign
that.
with us.
But again,
If we get
I think
Scott
we just
Kazner
kind
back,
of
I'll
try
be
to
pretty
build the
mad
best
because he was never
roster
really good
that
for
we
us.
can, and you know, even if you look at teams in the
you say
postseason,
Kikuchi. We
you
could
know,
get him. He
there
was with
are
Seattle.
sort of
He wasn't too bad.
different
The only problem was his ERA
compositions
was
of
kind of a
teams
little
in terms
high
of
with
their
that.
strength, in terms of you know, the
But
relative strength
there's
of
this
their
one
rotation
outfielder
and
coming
the
from
relative
Japan
strength of the top
that
of the
I
rotation.
want to go
So,
look at.
yeah, ideally, I think your point's a fair one. We would, you know, love to add
Say Suzuki.
somebody who could
He's
pitch
coming
at the
from Japan, and if you look at his stats and stuff. If you look at his stats, they're really good from the Japanese league. And so in 2021, he had a 319 batting average, a 436 on base percentage, and a 1.079 OPS. And so that is some stellar stats. Those are one of the more impressive stats I've seen. And I know it's the Japanese league, but still, those guys are really talented over there. And if he could come to the Giants, that'd be a huge signing for the Giants to have him. Another comment in the chat. What would you rather have more, DeGrom or Scherzer? That's a tough question. They're both super good. For me, if it's a longer term deal, I'm going with DeGrom just because he's younger and stuff, and he's super dominant. Shorter term, like a 1-year deal, I'd probably go Max Scherzer just because Scherzer is gonna be good for just a little while longer, but I don't think he can last that long. So DeGrom long term, Scherzer short term, but they both cost a ton. And DeGrom had an MVP season until he got hurt, and so DeGrom's super dominant. I think he's better than Scherzer, but those two are really, really good. Those two in their prime are dangerous, and so that is the thing with those two. Yeah, I would say DeGrom long term, Scherzer for like a 1-year deal, but anything more than 1 year, I'm going with DeGrom. For this Seiya Suzuki guy, if we go after this guy, he wouldn't be necessarily cheap, but I feel like he could be cheaper just because he hasn't played in the major leagues, so they wouldn't be They wouldn't be like a lot of teams would be spectacle about it if he was actually that good, or if he just played good in the Japanese league and then couldn't transfer over to the major league. So that'll just be the thing right there. Let's go back to some other signings. Javier Baez thing with his signing. Do do you think Scherzer's going back to the Dodgers? Oh yeah, Scherzer got signed by the Mets for 3 years, and so Scherzer is a Met now, and so that is he's a done deal with the Mets. We can go over there, and I can show you. Scherzer signed with the Mets, and so he's now not in the Dodgers organization, so that's good news for us. But Scherzer is a Met, and so he signed a 3-year deal, $130 million, which is, I think, too much for Scherzer right there. A 1-year deal would have been way smarter, but it is a 3-year deal for $130 million with the Mets, and so that answers your question. Do you think Scherzer going back to Dodgers? He is now a New York Met, so that is really good to see that he is not a Dodger anymore. And so that is the thing with Scherzer now, is that he is out of the NL West, and so that's good news for us Giants fans. And so if we go over to the side, Scherzer ready for leadership pressure role. I think he'll do fine in the Mets organization. It'll just be interesting to see who they sign, who else they sign, and they've already signed a lot. And so, do you think Scherzer going to get traded to the trade with the Dodgers? I don't see the Dodgers. I don't see a trade happening just because that'd be a ton of money to like spend. Because when a trade happens, you have to like pay the amount like of the contract that the player had, and so the Dodger would be like paying a ton of their salary cap towards Scherzer again because the Mets traded him, and I doubt the Mets would want to trade him. It could happen like anything, but I don't see Max Scherzer getting traded for the rest of his career. I see him ending as a Met, and so that is the news right there. Just because I would see him getting traded if it was like a 1-year deal and the Mets were in last place, but since it's a 3-year deal, I have a hard time seeing Max Scherzer getting traded. So that's why, like, Max Scherzer would definitely be on the trade market if they sign him to a 1-year deal. But since it's 3 years and he's 37, 38, he's pretty old. I don't think they're going to be trading him. But we'll have to see how well the Mets do and how he does. And so, on to some other things with the Giants. Let's go over to Giants rumors. With the Giants rumors that MLB. Just a second, I'm trying to find the Giants rumors. With the Giants rumors, Joey Bart could be coming up. Probably will be coming up with the Giants, and so that'll be the interesting thing to see if Joey Bart can perform in the major leagues, because he played a little bit with us this year and a lot of 2020 and didn't put up fantastic numbers, but he's been stellar in the AAA. And so, Wade, why the Giants trade him if you offer Crawford and Belt and Webb? Would the Giants trade him if you offered? Would the Giants trade Scherzer? Or I don't really understand the question that well. Would the Giants trade for Max Scherzer if we offered Crawford and Belt and Webb? If you're talking about Max Scherzer, I don't see Max Scherzer leaving. Oh, that's how the Giants to Scherzer. Okay, thanks for clearing that up. I don't really see Scherzer leaving the Mets. The Giants wouldn't really give up that much for Scherzer. If they're gonna trade for Scherzer, they would give up a lot of prospects, because how the trading works is like they give up a lot more prospects and guys that are gonna be coming up in the future. So then the Mets are set for the future, and the Giants are set for the present. So I wouldn't really see the Giants giving up those three who are going to like carry the Giants, because Belt, Webb, and Crawford are like one of your best players on the Giants. And so those are just my opinion on that. That wouldn't be a good trade at all. That'd be pretty bad, but who knows. To those wishing the SF Giants would sign in top 5 market starters, consider these my predicted contracts from 5 to 3 years ago. Yeah, we signed some, like, there's these signings from like top 5 markets. Like, everyone's saying that we need to go sign a ton of like big names and stuff, but like, look at these. These are one of the biggest, and I bet you guys can only get like one of like Rich Hill, Andrew Kashner, but like the rest, those are big name signings, and those guys are nobodies now. So, and think about it this way too. When we signed like Jeff Samardzija, Johnny Cueto, and Evan Longoria for a lot of money, that hasn't been doing that well. And so if we go after these 1 year, 2 year deals with like Alex Cobb, like per se, or with Kevin Gosman, like we did with the 2 year, with the 1 year deals, and then Anthony DeSclafani, Alex Wood, not Alex Webb, Alex Wood and Anthony DeSclafani. Like, those guys were stellar in 1 year, and then we can just keep extending them to how they perform. Like, that worked out way better than signing Johnny Cueto for 6 years or Evan Longoria for 7 or whatever we did. And so that's why I think that the Giants aren't going to be going after some big names. But I do think we need to sign like Nicholas Castellanos, because that'd be good to have like a really stellar power hitting outfielder. But that's just my opinion on that. So we'll go over some other things in just a minute. The MLB right here. I'm going to go drink. Okay. The MLB headed for a lockout after CBA talks between players, owners, and on Wednesday. So what this means, if any of you guys don't know, is that the MLB lockout will mean that players and like the organizations cannot talk or negotiate any deals and all of that. And so that's why that this is kind of bad news, and there won't be any free agent signings and all that. And so if you guys want me to do like trivia or some fun facts and stuff like that while the off season is going with no signing and all that, then you can let me know, because I don't really have any video ideas for that. But I do have one special video coming out soon after this lockout happens. I think this would be a funny video. It'll be coming out soon. But the Giants won't be signing anyone after today. Neither will any other team. So that means Chris Bryant and Trevor Story and all these guys won't be like on a team or can even talk to a team until they negotiate something. But the pathetic thing is, after a 7-minute meeting with top union officials, MLB negotiators are leaving the hotel where bargaining is taking place. So that means that they're gonna have a lockout, and so that'll be the bad news right there. Their players have been told collective bargaining negotiations are done for the day. And so, there cannot be any more negotiations because of this. And so that is the pretty bad news, that there won't be any more free agent signings, and the Giants won't be doing anything after that. And so if you don't hear any free agent news, that's because it can't happen and no trading can happen. So Chris Bryant and Nicholas Castellanos and all those free agents are not going to be going to certain teams because of this dumb lockout that they can't negotiate over. So the MLB will probably have a new CBA coming in, and it'll probably be the beginning of January, middle of January, where they can hopefully figure out a deal, or else it'll be bad news, because then the MLB season will get postponed. And so that is just what's going to happen with the lockout. And this lockout could be pretty bad and postpone a ton of things. It could just be for a couple of weeks, a month, maybe 2 months. But I just hope that spring training starts on time or isn't delayed, and that all the free agents can start negotiating as soon as possible. And so hopefully that this CBA will get ruled out, and all of this stuff will get it rearranged. So that's just kind of the bad news for baseball right now. But luckily, it's not like during the league and stuff. And hopefully it just won't be postponed for a long time. So that's just what I hope will happen, is that it'll just be done by January, and they can negotiate some more stuff before then and not have to wait any longer for any free agents to start signing. And so let's go over some other news for the Giants. If you have any comments, put them down below. You can talk about any trivia or any questions, anything that's going on in the baseball world. And so the Giants haven't been very busy just getting Alex Cobb. But if we do go, they could go after Seihei Suzuki, the Japanese player that I went over earlier. And if they go after him, that'd be a pretty good signing. Probably not too cheap, but to the point to where he could be an all-star for maybe like 15 million a year, 20 million maybe. And so that'll be the interesting part of where Seihei Suzuki goes. And so those are all the things to go over right now. But the Alex Wood contract just barely got finalized, and it was just pending a physical. I'd love to see the San Francisco Giants make a trade that no one would expect, and that's Steven Strasberg to the Giants. Where is Steven Strasberg right now? I haven't heard much news on him. Steven Strasberg. Let's see. Let's go over what Steven Strasberg has been doing because I haven't heard any news on him. But so he's on the IL right now. He's hurt. But the Giants could go after Steven Strasberg. That would be a pretty interesting move because no one's really on the radar for him because he was hurt. And so in 2021, he pitched in 5 games, and I think he got hurt. He allowed 12 runs, 11 runs, so he didn't do very well. He had season-ending neck surgery. So that was 4 months ago. He had season-ending neck surgery, but the Giants could go after him, a sneaky little trade and stuff. Just the only thing to worry about is if he'll be hurt like too much to even pitch, or if he'll even come back to be that pitcher that he once was. But he got hurt with the season-ending neck surgery, and so that will be interesting to see because I haven't heard anything on Steven Strasberg. And so, that could be a sneaky little move the Giants make to go sign one of those players that are hurt right now. And so that would be pretty interesting to see if the Giants do go after Steven Strasberg. Okay. Are you happy with Trevor Bauer in trouble? Yeah, I liked Trevor Bauer not being able to pitch. It was nice for 2 reasons. He was annoying on the field. He was so cocky and was a brat and stuff, and just didn't play the game like how Buster or how Brandon Crawford played the game, which is just be quiet and keep it to yourself, keep your emotions in. But he just let all of his emotions out, and he got suspended because of some allegations. But I think those will be cleared up. I bet he'll be able to pitch, but it'll be interesting. Pitch in 2022. It'll be interesting to see what team he goes for and what is happening with Trevor Bauer, and if the Dodgers are gonna keep with him or depart from him, because I have a hard time seeing the Dodgers stay with Trevor Bauer. And so, I'm glad Trevor Bauer was hurt because he was very annoying on the field. He was a good pitcher. I'm not putting him down for that, but he was a good pitcher, just very annoying on the field, really cocky. And so that's just my thing with Trevor Bauer. And the bad news is the negotiations with the MLBPA. Just news right here, as it says that it is going to end today. So no more signing after today, which is pretty disappointing that we won't have anything to go over and talk about. But that is just the news for that. But we can go over some other stuff. Let's see. Trevor Bauer never going to play the Dodgers again. Yeah, I agree with you right there. I don't see him playing with the Dodgers. He fits the Dodgers uniform. I'm just saying, because the Dodgers I can't stand the Dodgers. They're always cocky and stuff, and he fits the Dodgers criteria, but I feel like the Dodgers don't want to have trouble with him and all that, and so I have a hard time seeing him go to the Dodgers and staying with them. But let's go over the Giants' minor league roster, because their minor league roster is pretty stacked. Let's go over some of the players that the Giants could bring up for this 2022 season. And so let's go Sacramento Rivercats. And so the River Cats are the Giants AAA team, if you didn't know, and they're from Sacramento, obviously. But they hold guys like Joey Bart, who's been playing for them, and all that. And so that is what the River Cats are. And so let's go and see if we can find out their roster. The Giants transactions round up. Santos finishes. So Gregory Santos, how much money would you sign Bauer? I don't know for sure. Probably like 28 million a year, 25 million if I was signing him, and just that's how much I'm gonna guess he gets, is around 20 to 30 million is the range that I'm thinking, probably low 20s. But because of him not pitching last year, it's gonna be interesting to see if they offer him more or less money. But yeah, Trevor Bauer, I can't stand him, but yeah, that's what Trevor Bauer is. So let's go over some of the minor league players, and let's go over Joey Bart first. So Joey Bart, the catcher that's probably going to be playing with us for the 2022 season. And so while that loads, I'm going to grab a drink. So Joey Bart, while it loads, he will probably be our catcher with Kirk Casale for 2022. In 2021, he had a 3.33 batting average, 1 RBI, 1 run. He only had 6 at bats, so I think he only played in 2 games. But in 2021, so he didn't really have much experience in the majors. In 2020, he played 33 games, 233 average, and a 280 on base percentage, so not amazing. Joey Bart been hitting a lot 2020. Yeah, he hit a lot in 2020. His OPS was 609, which isn't horrible for being a rookie. I think he has a lot more potential. He struck out quite a bit, but I feel like he has a lot of potential. He destroys in the minors, absolutely destroys everyone. But he's one of those guys where he's too good to be in AAA, but not good enough to be in the majors. He's just that in between guy. And so hopefully he'll develop his hitting and stuff, because his catching's super good. He has really good defensive and can throw out a lot of people, but it's just his hitting that's been a little questionable. But you can't expect ever, because we've had a great catcher for the past 10 years, 12 years, and we can't expect Joey Bart to be Buster Posey now. But I do expect him to be batting 280, high 280s, 290. And so if we can get him to that level, that'd be huge for us, because I feel like if he's batting around there, then that's really good. But I'm not expecting him to be the next Buster. I'm expecting him to be just a solid catcher that can play for us around every day and hit for power, give us some clutch hits here and there. But it'll be interesting to see if Joey Bart can perform. And we also have Kirk Casale, so it's not like we're depending on Joey Bart, but Kirk Casale is going to be our other guy. So I could see them going Kirk Casale 2 days, then Joey Bart 2 days or something like that. And so alternating with Joey Bart and Kirk Casale. And so that's just the news right there with Joey Bart, the AAA catcher, who's been pretty good in the minors, really good in the minors actually, and then just struggled a little bit in the majors. But 2021, 33 on base percentage, 33 batting average, super good 2021 season, but only after 6 at bats. So you can't make a lot of assumptions there. Hopefully he'll be good. Another one we could start bringing up is Elliot Ramos. So right here, I will try to get his stats. If you have any comments, put them down below in the live chat. I'll do my just 2 cents on whatever you guys say. And so if you guys answer the poll, so was Alex Cobb signing smart? 40% said yes, 40% said no, 20% said kind of. And so in my opinion, it was kind of smart because we needed a fifth, and so signing him would be a pretty smart thing. But I can understand if you guys say yes or no. And so but yeah, we did sign Alex Cobb. And if you guys are enjoying the stream, make sure to press the like and subscribe button if you haven't already. And so I have just been doing these live streams lately because there hasn't been much happening except for the Alex Cobb signing, and so this is what I'm going over. So Elliot Ramos right here, 254 batting average, 323 on base, 740 OPS. This is in AAA, and he did pretty good. He's super talented outfielder that could be a platoon guy. He went from AA to AAA this year. So in AAA, he had a 272 average and 323 on base percentage. He actually played way better in AAA than he did in AA. Let's see the comments that are coming in. And so, who do you think would be a good fit to replace Cueto's spot in the rotation? So yeah, I'm thinking that Cueto, we need to sign someone, a guy like for a number 2 starter, we need to sign someone. I don't really have an idea. Yeah. I don't really know who we're gonna sign because everyone's kind of gone that I was thinking Steven Matz could do it. I was thinking Marcus Stroman. I was thinking that Robbie Ray, Kevin Gosman, and all those guys are gone. So I don't know what the Giants are doing. They could just be waiting, and they can't make any more signings. And so I see him as more reliable than Disco. Yeah, Disco can be shaky at times. He did pitch pretty well at the beginning of the season, like had 2 shutouts, but then the Dodgers do own him. Yeah, the Dodgers own him real bad. It isn't even like fun to watch him pitch against the Dodgers. He just throws right down the middle and they crush it. So that is why no one is left. Yeah, no one is left. I can't think of anyone because everyone's gone. Everyone's signed with everyone else. Like we could have gone after Dillon Bundy for like crying out loud. We could have gone for him, and that would have been better than no one. And so that's just what the Giants have been doing, is just kind of just sitting there and not doing much. And so that is why I think that we could be facing a big struggle if we don't start signing someone. But the Giants could have a plan of who they're going to go sign and all that. And so we'll see what happens when the time comes. But yeah, I think Disco is going to be, I think he can work on commanding his fastball and mixing it with his changeup better. And we have to remember that that we have the whole off season for those guys to train and get better. And so that's why I think that in the grand scheme of things, that we are still sitting fine. We just need to hope that they're going to be working on the like mechanics and stuff to not choke against the Dodgers in playoff or regular season. Sammy Long should pitch against the Dodgers. They don't hit lefties very well. Yeah, the Sammy Long, I feel like, could have his chance in 2022. We'll have to see what happens with Sammy Long and everyone and Sean Jelly and that. Sammy Long hopefully will perform better. I have high hopes for him. I hope he does great, but like his looping curveball just goes straight into the zone, and it's not like, it's so predictable, and his fastball is like 92, 93, and it's just straight, has no movement. So that's the only thing I think he needs to fix. Do you think the Giants have a shot to get that Japanese star player? Yeah, I was just looking at him. I'm thinking that if the Giants are waiting this long, they could be waiting to try to get him and another pitcher. I'm just questioning who that pitcher is going to be. And so if we go back to Seihei Suzuki right here, Seihei Suzuki, he will be delayed for signing. I doubt that we'll see him be with the team before tonight, but I do see the Giants Okay, this comment. I do. Giants are hot on Suzuki. Yeah, the Giants. I've heard rumors and stuff all over like Bleacher Report and the Twitter feed and stuff that the Giants are going after Seiya Suzuki pretty hard, and so hopefully they'll get him because I feel like he would fit the Giants uniform. I don't know why, but I would see Ichiro and then like Kikuchi and stuff. I see him in a Mariners or Giants uniform. Those are the two that I see him going to. But after the Mariners signing Robbie Ray, I have a hard time for them going after another big name like Seiya Suzuki. I have a feeling he'll either go to the Giants or maybe one of the New York teams. Yeah, he could go out to the Yankees. The Yankees have been pretty quiet this offseason, so going to the Yankees wouldn't be a surprise to me. I have a hard time seeing the Mets go after him just because of how many people they've signed, but the Yankees are a possibility. He wants to be on the West Coast. I did not know that, but that makes sense because I feel like he fits a Mariners, Giants, or Angels uniform in my opinion, and so that's why I think he could be one of those. And so that's why I think he'll be on one of those teams. And so let's go to the free agents. Okay. Free agents of the 2021 still. We will end the stream at 1 hour. I just wanted to go over some stuff and so to see what's happening in the majors and the free agent market. And so 2020 I've already gone over this, but I'm going to go over it again because I need to look at the free agents that are still up for grabs and who the Giants are going to go after. So Nicholas Castellanos is a possibility. Seiya Suzuki is a possibility. I could see him go after both of those. Carlos Rodon. They could go after Carlos Rodon. That's the one that I think they could go after is Carlos Cherdon. He wasn't amazing ever since the pine tar stuff, like ever since they restricted. And so I can keep doing the stream a little bit longer, but because I just got here a little. Yeah, Carlos Cherdon. I think that they could be going after him because he even though he did struggle with the like after the pine tar deal, you know what I'm trying to say. We could still go after him. Let's go look at his stats in just a second. But Zach Greinke's still up for grabs. I have a hard time seeing us going after Zach Greinke. Tyler Anderson, we could still go after. He was with us in 2020. Decent pitcher. Michael Pineda, we could still go after. I don't really see us going after him just because he wasn't amazing. Yusei Kikuchi, Matthew Boyd, Drew Smiley could come back to us. Jose Quintana is already with Pittsburgh. Chichis Gonzalez, he wasn't very good, but I don't see us going after any of these lower ones. Yeah, I forgot Rodon too because he could really fit that number 2 spot, and so I just think the Giants are probably going to sign a guy like Carlos Rodon as the number 2 starter. That'd be pretty smart. Zach Greinke and Tyler Anderson. I think Carlos Rodon, Zach Greinke, and Tyler Anderson are the 3 that we could be looking at. Michael Pineda or Yusei Kikuchi as well. Those like 5 right there are the ones where I think could fill that number 2 role if we really need them to. All we need is guys that can go out there and can help us win a game and give us the best chance. But I have a hard time seeing us getting Kershaw. And so I wonder if there's any Asian pitchers available. Yeah, I haven't heard of any like big on the rumors and stuff. But the free agent stuff with Carlos Cherdon, I can see us going after. And then we signed Alex Cobb as a number 5, and compared to Marcus Strowman, he wasn't horrible. And so a 3.1 WAR versus a 3.4, and we paid Alex Cobb like way less than Chicago paid Marcus Strowman. That's just telling you that we might be spending money way smarter than other teams are, just because the other teams are going after some big name guys, but that could just be my opinion and stuff. But Tyler Anderson, Zach Greinke, and Carlos Rodon are the three that I think we could really make a push to go after and get as our number 2 in those rotation. Now on to your question of I wonder if there are any Asian pitchers that are coming from like the Japanese league. Like the KBO pitchers. Okay, I'm searching up now if KBO players to watch, because we got Darren Ruff from the KBO and he's been great, and so Darren Ruff, we could get some good guys from the KBO and all that. There isn't really any big news about people from different countries being on those top. I've just seen about Seihei Suzuki. That's just the only big name I've heard from there. But we could go after some of those foreign players and still grab one of those, like Darren Ruff, who went and played in the KBO, as I already mentioned. And so, but we have to remember that we do have Mike Yastrzemski, Steven Duggar, Austin Slater still in the outfield. And then if we get Seihei Suzuki, that'd be pretty stacked outfield. And then we can have Lamont Wade Jr. play outfield as well with Darren Ruff. So I'm pretty sure we're pretty stacked with the outfield and infield. We just need a strong bat. We still need a strong bat. Yeah, I think we could go after, if we don't get, like I would say, go after Seihei Suzuki first. And if we can't get him, then go after Nicholas Castellanos. The only problem with Nicholas Castellanos, like it says here, is that he's going after a 7 or 8 year deal. And so a 7 or 8 year deal, I have a really hard time for the Giants going after a 7 or 8 year deal. That's just my opinion, because I really think that the Giants want to go after that 2 year, 3 year deal in that situation. But we'll have to see if they go after Seihei Suzuki or Nicholas Castellanos, because those two I feel like would be a huge addition to the lineup and stuff, and to have as our power bat, because Yaz can still bounce back. Yaz can be a great outfielder again, but it'll just be a matter of time if he will perform. So that's just my thing with outfielders. Comment down below who you would want between Tyler Anderson, Carlos Cherdon, and Zach Greinke. Out of those three, who would you want as your number 2 starter? And I'd say think about the money wise, think about the production, and think about how many years you would want them. So that's my thing, is those three would be very interesting to see who we go after those three. And if we even do go after, because we could play with the 4-man rotation and platoon guys, but I don't know if we would want to do that, because that's kind of risky, because we had to do a lot of bullpen games this year, and bullpen games are not fun. Michael Roder says Rodon. Yeah, Rodon, in my opinion, is the best one, but he could be the most expensive one, which doesn't really matter because he's going to be cheaper. But let's go look at Carlos Rodon stats. Carlos Sirdon in 2021. He's a White Sox pitcher, if you guys don't know, but he had a 5 WAR, super good, 2.37 ERA, 132 innings pitched, 185 strikeouts. That is super good pitcher. The only thing is he kind of dropped off in the second half, and so that's my only concern with him, is if that pine tar or whatever sticky stuff he's using, because he's probably using it, if that affected him. But he's an under the radar guy. He's one of those guys where he hasn't really been on the hot market of talk and stuff, and so that's why I think he could be a smart move for the Giants to go after and try to get. Let's look at before this year. He was never really amazing. If you look at this, he was a 3.75. He had a 4.15, 4.18, 5.19, 8.22. So obviously something clicked with him for 2021 where he started pitching really, really well. And so that is pretty interesting that he went from an 8.22 ERA and a 5.19 ERA to a 2.37, finishing 5th in Cy Young voting and an all-star. So it's interesting that no one's really been talking about Carlos Cherdon. You guys are 33 across the board with yes, no, kind of, with 6 votes. And so vote that if you want to. Make sure to press the like button and subscribe. And we're not over with the stream yet. We'll keep going for about maybe 10 more minutes. But this is just going over some of these free agent hot market stuff that has been going around lately. And so he's not too old. I could see us signing him for a 3-year, 2-year deal. And that'd be a pretty nice second in the rotation guy with Logan Webb. And with Logan Webb as our ace, Carlos Cherdon as second, Alex Wood third, Anthony DeSclafani fourth, and Alex Cobb fifth, with our platoon guys of Sean Jelly and Sammy Long as our number 6 guys that can switch off and stuff. So that'd be pretty interesting to see if the Giants will go after Rodon, because I haven't heard anything about him. I don't know why people aren't talking about him, because he's a free agent and he had a solid, really good 2021 season. The only thing I could think is why people aren't talking about him is because of how bad he was years before. So that'll be interesting to see if the Giants do go after him, or even if even a team starts to give him a ton of money or very little. And so let's go over. If you have any comments, put them down below of what you want to go over. We went over some minor league guys. We went over the free agents, Nicholas Castellanos, the Marcus Stroman, Javier Baez signed with Detroit, if you didn't know. Clayton Kershaw is still out for grabs. The Dodgers signed Chris Taylor, re-signed him back for a utility guy to have, I think, $60 million over 4 years. We can go over that. I was thinking the Giants can make a push for Chris Taylor, but I don't really see Chris Taylor as a Giant. I don't really like his attitude, but he is re-signing with the Dodgers, so that is good and bad news. I wish he would have gone somewhere else, but I'm also glad that he's not a Giant, because even though he's good, I didn't really like his attitude. I don't really like his demeanor on the field and off, and so that is why I am not really hyped about him. And so, but he is with the Dodgers, so that is something to not be worried about. Taylor coming to the Giants. The Padres signed Nick Martinez, so let's go over that deal. That just barely came through. That is for a $20 million contract, 4 years. Nick Martinez, let's go over his stats, because this guy hasn't been Martinez. This guy hasn't been on the stove lately, and so let's go over what he has done. He is from the Rangers, I'm pretty sure. And so he had a 2.1 WAR, 4.77 ERA. Played for the Rangers. He's 26 years old. He had a 5.66 ERA in 2017. Oh, it looks like he's coming from so he hasn't been playing for a while. So that's kind of interesting of what happened. Let's see what the deal with him is. If he is like coming off of a injury, or if he is playing somewhere else. But what is this guy's situation? Because Nick Martinez, let's see. Okay, so he played for Team USA, so he's probably in the minors for a little bit. Yeah, Nick Martinez, who spent the past he played in Japan right here, it says. So he was in the Japanese league, and so he is coming back to the back of the rotation for San Diego. I think that's a pretty smart move for San Diego. He played for the Japanese league, and so he is now coming back to the major leagues to play here, and so that's why he hasn't been playing for the past 4 years, but that's why the Padres went and got him. And so that's pretty interesting of the Padres going after him. But we'll see what happens with the rest of this free agent market. With the lockout going in place, I won't have many ideas, so comment down below of any video ideas. And also, I have a fun video coming out probably later this week, maybe the weekend or next week sometime. And then I'll have some other just trivia stuff or stuff about the Giants or guys that they could sign. So it'll be kind of hard to do any videos because of the free agent market being on lockout. And so we'll see what will happen. What is this one calling? I told everyone that KB wouldn't sign until after the lockout. He's trying to drive up his value. Yeah. He has the I don't know who his agent is, but I know his agent is very very aggressive, wants the most money. He's the same agent as Bryce Harper. And so yeah, I think I agree with you with KB not signing before the lockout because yeah, he really wants to drive up that as much of a price as possible because of him, like because of his agent. Oh yeah, Scott Boras, right? If I'm not mistaken by the comment. Yeah, Boras always wants the most money for his players. And so yeah, that's why I think the Giants aren't going to go sign him just because of how much money that's going to be. But I could see them signing Nick Castellanos, Seiya Suzuki, Carlos Cherdon. One of those guys I feel like we need to go after. We need a number 2 starter. That's what I'm preaching right now, is a number 2 starter. And so, yeah, Scott Boras. And if we can get that number 2 starter with another power bat in the lineup, then I'll be fine. And the Giants, I feel like, will be fine. And so, yeah, both. It'll be interesting to see what the Giants do in the long run of things. But yeah, this will wrap up my stream for tonight. I just want to go over the MLB market and the free agent stuff and what is happening there. And so if you like this video, make sure you give it a thumbs up and subscribe. And I'll see you next time for a new SF Giants recap video. Thanks for watching.